Yeah, well, I only went out in UMD once, and it was literally on my birthday, junior year of high school. And like, I mean, I just woke up yakking during orientation. And I remember my mom is so pissed about it. But I was very, very close to going. And yeah, I never ended up visiting, I guess you guys call him Spock, during it. But I mean, yeah, I actually haven't seen him in a bit. We went to sleepaway camp together. I'm not even Jewish, but that's kind of the way of the world.
That's classic.
Oh,
A token
classic.
non-Jew.
Classic.
All right, let's get started. All right. Elevation Nation. I say it every time. We got a special guest. And we have a special guest for sure for you today, tonight, this morning, whenever you're listening, wherever you're listening. Ryan Kenny joins Elevation Nation. Ryan is, you're very familiar with the microphone, right? Doing stand-up in New York City, also trying to make it as a young adult in the real world. We hope that you are ready to laugh. We hope that you're ready for an awesome conversation. Ryan, welcome.
Thank you,
It's
boys.
Elevation Nation. What's going on?
That was a great little intro. I listened to a few. That was passionate. I appreciate that. I felt that. Thank you. Yeah.
Sam's got it up on me. He usually, he does the intros, so I've been learning from him.
So how'd you
That was good,
decide
Parker.
today I was graced
We
by
like to give
your-
Parker some practice, make sure
Sure.
he can stay top of his game.
Sure. Okay.
And this was an opportunity. And Parker, you knocked it out of the park. So I think just like Ryan, who shines in the spotlight as a comedian, you also did great in the spotlight tonight. And I'm excited, Ryan, to get to know you, man, to get some laughs. Elevation Nation, we typically have some pretty serious conversations. We get introspective, but life is fun. Life is funny. We go through hilarious shit. And let's talk about it. I think it's going to be wonderful. So, because it is Elevation Nation, we want to start off, give you an opportunity to introduce yourselves to the nation. So, Ryan, give us a little elevator pitch, man. Who the hell are you? What's up? What do you do?
What's up? What's up? No, yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. I was flattered you guys even asked. Honestly, I was going through so much of your guys' catalog. Like, you have Olympic fencers, on-air personalities. Like, I do stand-up comedy, but I definitely feel like I'm a little underqualified. But no, I mean, you guys honestly kind of said it. Like, I'm a stand-up comedian in New York City. I also do, I actually do podcast ad sales. Just started very, very recently at a startup, which has been very cool. But, yeah, my passions have always been public speaking, making people laugh, kind of seeming like a fool, like feeling like an idiot a little bit just to get the laugh. But at the end of the day, like, I think a lot goes into it, but it's been something I've always been like super passionate about. So it's been about, 3 years, 2.5 years, like kind of come a long way, really starting to, I get paid every once in a while, but yeah, I think it's definitely something that I think a lot more people should do, could do. And I'm definitely curious to kind of hear your guys' opinion on it and break it down. By the end of this, we're going to get a bit out of one of you guys. That's for sure.
All right, so I got two things.
Here we go.
First of all, I want to break down for Elevation Nation how we even found Ryan. I actually was scrolling.
Yeah, what
I was on. Are you on TikTok or is it just Reels?
Very, very minimally on TikTok, but I did have one that like blew up.
I think. All right, so I saw a TikTok of you, and I was like, I'm like laying down, like, just randomly. It's a freaking root, like, whatever it is. It's like, you never know what you're getting. Next thing, your face comes up, you're walking on the street talking some shit in New York City. I forget what the bit was or whatever. And I was just like, I laughed.
The dude on the
street.
The dude on the street.
Whatever it was. Yeah. I don't know. And I said to JJ, I'm like, this guy's really funny. And then I clicked your profile on Instagram or whatever. And I was like, wait, shit, I have like 7 mutual friends. Like, he would be down for a podcast, yeah. No doubt. Screw it. I'll reach out. We'll see what happens. And I reached out and you're like, hell yeah. I'm like, boom, now we're here having a conversation. Love
it. That titty picture you sent me helped too. That was exciting.
Yeah. I mean, JJ, sorry, I had, sometimes you have to do things to, get things, right?
Yes.
In return.
No, I was hyped. I was honestly, I was a little confused at first, to be honest, but no, I was definitely stoked. That video too, yeah, was random. This guy was like notorious for taking a shit on the street, like on the sidewalk. And like, I just literally pulled my camera out and randomly, like a car ran into a fire hydrant. And like, I have a very minimal social media following. Like, I didn't start it until a couple of years ago, and I looked the next day, like, guys, I swear to God, like, I'm like maybe 20 likes, 30 likes. It had like 70,000 views. I'm like, literally, what is going on? So now I'm kind of keeping my eye
So
out.
we
Like,
got to tell you,
Well,
Parker
Ryan, you're like
also
you're
went
like
viral.
You're like a peasant compared to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Good talking to you guys. Sweet.
All right, you're right. Get out of here. No. So I posted a picture of a dog barking to the tune of a jazz band in Madison Square Park, and I got 1.1 million views
Wow.
for this damn dog. I'm just like, what the hell is going on
It's
right
the
now?
animal factor, dude. It's the animal factor.
Craziness. All right, I said I was going to have 2 points. To my
Yes.
other point, you said anyone could be a comedian. However, I think about, you ever hear of those fantasy football leagues, or when the person who does the worst in the league, they
Yeah.
have to go in front of an entire crowd and do a bit,
Yeah.
a stand-up comedy routine. I'm just like, damn, that would be miserable to be in the audience and feel that pain that person's going through. It's probably so bad.
Oh, it's bad. They're bad. I mean, also, not for nothing, like, before I started doing stand-up, like, I took a couple classes at the Comedy Cellar in 2019. Like, the teachers, guys, Rick Chrome, like, I doubt you guys have ever heard of him, but most comedians, like, actually established comedians, have worked with this guy before. And, like, now he kind of just teaches people. I really owe him a lot. Like, he really, really helped me tremendously. But before I even took the classes, like, I kind of wanted a reason to first do stand-up. So it was like, I didn't want to lose my fantasy league, but I was pushing for that to be the punishment. But I'm really, like, I know what that's like, man. Like, you can go to a random open mic in the city, and I'm telling you, like, no one is laughing. Like, you get up there, it's tough. People are only there to tell their own jokes. They're not there to listen to you. So, like, let's just say, hypothetically, like, we were all in a league together, and, like, let's say Sam loses, like, the punishment is doing a bit, like, doing a 5-minute routine, like, we wouldn't do an open mic. Like, I'm getting you time on a legit show. Like, you're going up there and it would just be a disaster. But the audience definitely, I mean, as uncomfortable as the audience is, you feel it up there. So, like, I promise you, you got to bring a change of clothes. You're going to be sweating if that's happening, dude. But it's a great punishment.
Ryan, okay, so yes, it's a great punishment, but I want to highlight, we talk a lot on this podcast about the concept of your comfort zone and how we think, like, growing up in our generation, it's been so easy to stay comfortable in pretty much everything we do.
Yeah.
You can, like, hide behind a virtual wall. You never have to really push yourself. You could take the easy way out of pretty much everything and, like, still be fine. And so we challenge Elevation Nation to consistently try to find ways to push themselves outside of their comfort zone, just to, like, grow and challenge yourself and see if you can do it. And there's no better way, I'm sure, to get uncomfortable quickly than having 50 eyeballs stare at you, waiting for you to fail, essentially. What was that like your first time going? I mean, I'm sure you bombed. Every comedian has bombed. Talk me through, like, what that feels like, man. Like, that is tough. It takes some balls, bro.
Well, I mean, look, I definitely appreciate it. I mean, it is something that I do think more people should at least give a go at some point in their life. But a quick story with that is, like, the first time I ever actually, like, told a joke with purpose in front of people, I was starting my job, like, right out of school. I was doing IT recruitment, very, like, Wolf of Wall Street type of company, like 25-person training classes, like, literally almost like a pledge class type of thing. And then at the end of training, you go up in front of the entire office, you introduce yourself, and you say a little fun fact. I'm like, I've never shied away from public speaking. Like, I'm used to getting some ridicule. Like, I didn't mind it at all. So I go up there, I'm boisterous. I'm making sure everyone knows my presence. I will never forget this. I see some boss kind of, like, put his chin up. He's like, all right, like, I like this guy. And for whatever reason, like, to this day, I don't know why I said it. The first fun fact I said was I didn't have a salad until college. That is true. The second one I said was that, I want to be on Saturday Night Live. That is true. The third most important one I said was that I do open mics in the city. I had never done an open mic. And I'm not a liar, but, like, it just kind of came out. And right away, like, I think everyone is going to be saying, like, oh, that's sick, like, great, good to know, move on. 300 people, prove it, prove it, prove it. I don't even know what I did.
This was while you were. They were like, do it right now.
I'm introducing myself to the entire company. I was there for 4 years total. This is like day 6. And so they're like, prove it. I pull some bitch so far out of my ass about street meat carts, and that every guy that runs the street meat cart is smoking a cigarette next to raw chicken, acting like their chicken's going to be better than the next guy's chicken. And I fortunately ended it saying, like, and I completely recognize, like, I am blowing this right now. So, like, I got a little bit of redemption with that. But, like, honestly, and this is obviously a very isolated situation to myself, but, like, I will never do a show that will be as humiliating as that, because I'll never see these people again. You know, like, this was something that I did on a Friday, and I got back to work on Monday. I'm getting ripped. You know, so it was like, I've definitely been on stage when a show doesn't go well, and I won't lie to you guys, like, it sucks. Like, you sweat. Like, it is as bad as you think, but you just got to get through it. Afterwards, you have to laugh about it. Like, if you don't laugh about it, you're just not built out for this. But I will never have something be more humiliating than my first attempt at telling a joke. That was just, I mean, guys, it was bad. I mean, it was really, really bad.
I'm sure you're like trying to. You finish that all, and you're just like, "What the hell just happened?"
Dude,
you almost feel it's like an out of body experience.
Yes, I remember emailing my boss after that, because he sent me some message, like, couldn't even think twice about it, and I was like, "Yeah, man," and like, I totally botched up there, and he was just like, "Yeah." And that was it. Yeah, all right. So cool.
That's absolutely hilarious. And I think, again, it shows a little bit of your character, obviously, that you had the confidence to lie on your 6th day and then try to dig yourself out of that hole and absolutely fail. But I wonder, this is me being a fake psychologist,
let's hear it.
Maybe you like wanted an excuse to need to go do open mics. You're like, I'm just going to say I do them. Then when people start asking, like, I can show them a video if I do it. And thank God you did lie that day, because I'm sure that kind of enticed you to be like, all right, I already lied about it. Like, let's go do this thing. Let's commit a little bit more. And I think if more people had that vision and thought of like, all right, I'm probably going to fail my first day. I say I do something that I'm passionate about, but I'm into it and I want to try it and I want to learn and I want to fail. I feel like the world would be a better place, man. Think about all the people who suppress all their passions so deep, and they're like, like, people might make fun of me or I might not do okay. Parker and I, like, I'm being hypocritical. I was freaking out when Parker was like, yo, we should do a podcast, man. And like, and we should show our faces and people should know it's us. Like, we should share it with the world. I was like, that's scary.
Here we go.
So, Ryan,
go ahead.
First of all, Elevation Nation, I don't know if we've told you this or not, but like, you know, Sam is like the king of public speaking. So Sam has no problem ever public speaking. Sam, like, go, you know, in college, will get in front of a whole room, maybe an entire fraternity, 100 people, just talk very confidently, always. And like, dude, all right, we're gonna have a podcast. He's like, oh my god, we're hiding behind a damn computer right now. You're not even in front of people, and then you just push it out. And he's like, I'm scared. I'm like, bullshit, you're scared. You love this stuff.
No, I was scared. It's crazy. I feel like I can feed off the energy in a live room, whereas like a podcast, if you like fuck it up, like Ryan, if you listen to some of our beginning episodes when we had no idea what we were doing,
bad.
like
those were bad.
They're brutal. Like we got like, imagine we were being dragged by a leash. Like our guests would sometimes just like take us wherever they wanted to go, and Parker and I were like, all right, I guess like we're talking about that now. Like we had no concept of storytelling or like controlling a conversation or ad-libbing, and it was bad. And so that was scary to realize that this is a totally different skill. As I'm sure you said you were good at public speaking. Comedy is very similar, I think, in podcasting to a way. There's an art. There's this like storytelling piece. There's metaphors. There's, you know, having things come full circle and timing. That's different than just like talking to your friends, you know?
Yeah. Well, you guys are lucky because there's no way I listened to your first episode. So, yeah, all right.
Thank God. It's brutal.
No, you are right, though.
It is brutal.
You are right, because like I feel like even, I swear to God, and this might not make sense to you guys are, I'm even curious like what you guys' opinion with this on this would be. I've said this so many times and like I will really die on this sword, even, 40 years if I'm in the same position doing stand up. I would rather perform in front of 5, 10, 15, 50,000 people than a room of like 10, not for notoriety, exclusively for like the feeling of it in terms of like there's 10 people in a room, 5 people in a room, 4 people in a room. That's like a normal-ish bar show on like a weekday. It's weird, guys. Like it is an intimate speed dating type of thing. Like you got to do your routine, but like you really feel everybody's pressure on you. And like because there's so many less people, like you're listening for every one of those little laughs. But if it's a massive room, at least in my opinion, I think if you really get up there, like you do your shit, maybe do some crowd work, and like, look, if it doesn't go well, that's unfortunate, but at least like you went up there, you didn't overthink it. But then if it goes well at the same time, you can really say, look, I just nailed that. And at least it was more than a handful of people just like sipping on a drink and something like that. So I think maybe that's just myself, like pressure builds diamonds, but I think it is the more people, I think the less pressure, believe it or not.
I get that. I actually totally, that resonates with me.
Because I think it goes
so
with
I have a
podcast
question, Ryan.
Like that, yeah.
It totally does. I have a very specific question for you about something that I absolutely despise.
Oh,
all right,
yes.
That's really strong. All right, I take that. I'm walking it back.
Do you guys edit?
I don't actually
edit
absolutely
stuff?
despise
like,
it.
Do you edit anything, or is it just full? We're just okay.
Oh, I edit it. Oh yeah, you're saying that because you don't edit it, Sam. I
It's a
sit
great
there.
point. No, I respect
listen to
it,
every
Parker.
episode.
I
I edit
respect it. I do a podcast for my fantasy league. I don't edit at all. So I respect how much effort goes into it. In case Sam doesn't say it, we appreciate you.
He doesn't know it.
You,
he could say it. He just doesn't know it.
Well, what I was saying that was I was saying that Ryan can say whatever he wants, and if it's that bad and crosses the line, we'll cut it out.
Won't.
But you're free to say what you would like. Parker, we appreciate you editing. I have a question. I want to get into things I hate. I almost feel like we're going to do the Peter Griffin. You know what really grinds my gears? We can go into that because being a young adult is weird. This is like the craziest stage of our life. I don't know if you agree with that, but
yeah.
Like I think back to, all right, you're like, I'm trying to think, like middle school, right? And you had to go to junior high and they had like orientation day and you had like a mentor and they like hold your hand. Then like same thing in high school. And then in college, like you have orientation, you join a fraternity and you like have built-in friends and everything's chilling. Then like you get to the real world and you're like, I literally like vividly remember looking to my left, like looking to my right and being like, holy shit, like everything I do comes back on me. Like I can't point the finger at anyone else. I don't know if you guys agree how absolutely ridiculous it is that as a like 20-year-old, 22-year-old kid, they were just like, yep, time to make decisions, all for your own. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I was on the struggle bus, man, for a while.
Sounds like you were on the short bus a little bit.
I was on the short bus.
No,
I'm not very tall.
Dude, yeah, same. No, average head kings. I agree with you, man. It's crazy. It's wild. Like, I think you put that really well. Our entire lives have been, you go to class, you do this, you grow up, you graduate, you go to middle school, this. Like, it's all changing. And like, especially from a kid, like I was a loser growing up. I mean, loser. Like bull cut on bull cut. I mean, so.
I was like, why you're a loser? Just because of your haircut?
No, dude, no, not at all.
Were you?
Knowing myself, like, I didn't have the confidence of like making plans with people or like going out of my way to kind of do stuff other than like, I love sports. So I would always be on sports teams and stuff, but like, I wasn't very good about the social aspect of my life in like middle school. And like, it's funny. I mentioned I have a twin sister before. I'll never forget this. Like we're a little bit off topic with what Sam just said, but I'm going to put the bow on it. I promise. This kid, my grade had like 11 sets of twins, crazy amount, super small high school, public school, like a lot. And this kid, I'll never forget, his name was Evan. He just goes, yeah, so how does it feel that your sister is so much more popular than you? And I'm just like, all right, so that's what's going on here. Okay, I get it. And like, I made sure going on later in life, like 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, like I made sure to go out of my way to like kind of control my own destiny a little bit. But fast forward, you get to college, like you said, you kind of have some built-in friends. Once you graduate, like you ideally, I guess you're supposed to get a job. Like that's what everyone tells you. And then it really is kind of just on you. But we're also still so young where it's like I try and think about a lot. It'd be amazing to have the mindset I have now when I was in high school. But at the same time, like when I'm 40 and 50 years old, I'm going to say I wish I knew what I know now when I'm 26. So, a lot of it is also just like do what feels right. Because at the end of the day, like what else can we really do?
Is your sister still more popular than you?
Honestly, I think we changed courses. I think we changed times.
Oh, wow. Okay. She's been a flip.
She might be, if you guys need a PR person, she is great. You can interview her. But I think it's changed a little bit just because I've really made sure to try and get out of my comfort zone and, stuff like that. Love you, Melissa.
Wake up every morning.
Yes.
Goal. We talk about our mental mottos. Be more popular than Melissa.
Yes, be more popular and rich and get a boob job and a nose job and everything. Just super Hollywood.
Just everything. All right, Ryan, let's switch the topic a little bit because we are talking about life as a young adult, but I want to curious, like, what is it about New York City that you love, and what is it about New York City that you just damn hate?
That's an unreal question. I'm not going to give the BS, like, well, it's so funny because, like, the energy in the city, like, I'm just not going to say that. My favorite thing by far is just, like, any given day at any given point, I can walk out of my apartment and I have no idea what I'm going to see. I have no idea who I'm going to run into. I have no idea like what I can possibly get myself into. So I think the spontaneity of that is like something that I don't think I was fully ready to appreciate. But then visiting some of my other friends like around the country, around the world, you have to drive to like go have fun somewhere. Like I can walk 4 blocks and like I don't even know what's going to be there and we're going to have a blast. So I think that's definitely the thing I love the most. What I hate, there's a lot of crazy smells. I mean, other than that, I mean, I don't really know. I really don't know. I haven't really thought about what I hate the most. The rent is too expensive. Like, I should not be paying what I'm paying for my apartment. But honestly, about New York City itself, like, I don't really think there's too much to actually hit. It's dirty. We'll say it's dirty. I'll give a tangible answer.
It is dirty. The dirtiness got rid of Sam. He was like, I don't like these smells, and I don't like the dirtiness.
Where are you?
I'm in D.C. now. So much happier. But I visit New York often. I couldn't do New York. Those smells really got to me.
Yeah, the government.
There's too many smells, man.
Yeah, the government.
There's too many damn smells. No, I mean, New York's a great place, and I'm excited because I'm going to come visit, and we're going to go to one of your shows, and we're going to heckle the shit out of you.
That would be great. We could plan it out a little bit, too.
Okay, we can do a little give and take. I'm in.
I'm curious, like, all right, you're saying the best thing about New York is you just like can wake up and you can just go outside and go on a stroll. Like, walk us through, like, what does that actually look like? You walk out your door, you pull the shade, and you look around.
Music
is
playing
New York
me.
City.
Yep. A funky,
everything.
Yeah, just some cartoon soundtrack playing behind me at all times. Just walking around super positive. No, I mean, I think it's honestly just one of those things where, like, for example, if, like, my friend's visiting, it's like, sure, maybe I'll make, like, a restaurant reservation or, like, I'll know where we'll go out at night. But, like, really, it's, like, I think we're very fortunate that we can kind of take the entire city and just do whatever with it. Like, I live on 39th and 3rd. Like, that's a little creepy, maybe bleep that out. But I think, like, I could walk to Union Square in 30 minutes. I could walk to Fide in an hour. I could go to the Yankee game in 15 minutes. So I think that is like something that most people, wherever they are, don't really have that luxury. So I try and take advantage of that like as much as I can.
Do you think that people have become more basic because of COVID and all they are on their phones?
So let me ask you this, like, how would you define basic?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
The typical, I want to spend $18 on lunch because it's healthy. I want to take pictures of that lunch and share it with the world. I wake up in the morning, usually basic, I feel like it's like a girl thing,
No,
right?
getting
So we're talking in
basic,
context
no,
of a
I feel you,
girl.
just like creating a podcast, super basic.
Yeah, so basic. But we're talking context of guys.
Like, post more shit on TikTok, bro. People want to see your life. That's basic as shit. I don't do anything.
Drinking
cool.
my rosé, actually right now drinking rosé. Fun fact. Cheers to that. Because it was the only
You're
thing
drinking
I
rosé
had.
right now.
But it's not basic. It was the only thing I had. It
I'm
was
gonna
a
let
gift.
the comedian dig
It was
into
a
you on
gift.
that
It
one.
was a
I'm not gonna
gift.
talk
It
shit.
was a gift.
I'll let Ryan add this to one of his
The
bits.
painting
I was
was
on
a
this
gift.
podcast and we were drinking beer and bourbon, and then Parker whipped out a giant thing of rosé.
And he's the guy who asked about basics.
Yes, exactly. I mean, honestly, I don't really know. Like, I don't. Can you really even tell? Because it's like people will post stuff, but it's like you don't know if that's their real life. So I don't know. I think it's definitely a fair question. I definitely think I can definitely, like, if someone's answer to that was like unequivocally yes, and this is why, because this, and this, like, I would, like, I couldn't argue that, because that's like what they're experiencing. I definitely think people are, in a positive light, I do think people are kind of going a little bit more out of their way to like experience things because of we couldn't do anything for years. But I also think some people might be getting a little too sucked into like, what they think is the cool thing
Exactly.
to be. Yes, no,
That's
I
what
understand. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I think you're right.
That was the question.
Well, you should ask it like
So
that.
Yeah, that was better. Refined. I have a question that goes a little bit on Ryan. We followed each other on Instagram today, which means we're officially friends. It's a big deal. Big night. We're celebrating. Start drinking. And you posted a hilarious video of your dad coming back to the car thinking he left his phone in there, and he turns around and it's in his pocket. And so arguably that's freaking hilarious. Like, I was cracking up. But I have a question. As a comedian, right? You walk through life. Are you on the lookout for things that are funny? Do funny things happen to you? Do you record everything and then figure out, play it back, and ask someone like, "Yo, was this funny?" Like, how do you filter out? Because I don't know. Maybe I just don't have it, but I feel like I can't find funny things in the world.
I think.
Am I not looking hard enough?
No, I honestly.
Are you just a sad man, Sam?
Great beard.
I guess so. Maybe I'm a sad person.
Fantastic beard.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're not funny,
kindest thing.
but you have a good beard.
Take what I can get.
wins.
I
don't think I have funnier things happen to me than anyone else. Like, I don't think every time I walk outside, 2.4 funnier things happen to me than somebody else. Like, I really, really don't. I just think it's like, I love taking videos. Like, I love recording stupid shit. And like, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not. But I think a huge aspect of like, at least what I like to do, not even like on the stand-up side, even just like sharing my daily life, is like, realistically, you can put a funny spin on anything. So like, whatever it is, like, so it's really kind of up to the person. So I don't know, maybe like you just try and be a little funnier. Maybe it'll work.
You got to go to funny school. You got to go to funny school.
I think
I'm going to work on it.
I think there's like some quote. I think Jerry Seinfeld said some quote that was like, comedians have this perfect combination of like, and not to like compare myself whatsoever for everyone listening, like, it was like, comedians are like equal parts like observationists, like angry about something, and ability to like say it succinctly. Like, I'm botching the quote, similar to my first ever bit.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's kind of just one of those things. Like, you need to be on the lookout. But I think it's just like, if you change the way you look at it a little bit, I think a lot more funny stuff will happen to you.
It's interesting. So Parker and I recently had one of our best friends get married. Shout out Noah. And we went, Mazel Tov, Noah and Chloe. We're very happy for you both. And so there's this thing that we did called an ufruf in Judaism in a Jewish wedding. And I didn't know about this in advance, but essentially you go and you get pretty drunk and you roast the groom.
No.
And so like Parker
no, that's what it's become. I learned that is actually not tradition.
Oh, that's not what it's supposed to be? Oh.
It's, I guess, the basic thing to do now, to just roast the groom.
Circle back. Good callback. That's what we call a callback in comedy.
Good job, Parker.
Yeah, I mean, there's no phones, so like everyone's watching you. Like it's Friday night on Shabbat, no one's recording. Go ahead, Sam.
And everyone's getting hammered. And so in advance, we essentially, like Parker, myself, some of our other friends, we're like, we've never done this before. What do we do? So we called his brothers and we were like, how, like, what's the deal? Like, is this PG rated? And his brothers were like, no, go as hard as possible. And so to set the stage a little bit further, his father opens for Seinfeld and is a professional comedian.
Wow.
So, like, comedy is in this family. None of us know what the hell we're doing. So I'm not kidding. Like, I spent hours with my roommate, Matt, like refining this speech, like coming up with funny stories, thinking about how I could do a punchline and tell a joke and like in a bit. And so now I think Ryan can fully appreciate how complex comedic timing is, like storytelling, stage presence, all this stuff, because like we snuck a video, I'm not going to lie, of this speech, and I was horrible. Like, I was saying things too fast. People were laughing, and I was on to the next joke. No one could hear me because there's no microphones. That stuff is hard. Like, to time that, to be patient, to wait for the laughs to pass when you're like, wait, you guys are laughing at the wrong part of the punchline. Like, this is the funny part. It is tough to balance all that. And so, you know, it's an art form, man. I appreciate what you do even more now. Parker was pretty funny, I'm not going to lie.
I think objectively speaking, my speech was funnier than yours by the amount of laughs I got, just saying. But I
That's a
also,
good
Ryan, I
indicator.
also did it with my bet. I did it with my friend. It was
It was a
duo.
pity laugh.
So-
They were laughing at
so-
Miles, not you.
So it was 2 times as long as Sam's, but 2 times, probably 4 times as funny as
Okay,
Sam's.
those are
So,
good numbers.
Yeah, good numbers. We calculated. We took a vote at the end, you know, who had the best speech, and they said not Sam. But I want to go back to your point before, Ryan, about I've always thought that a comedian, and for someone to be a good comedian, I always find that comedians are the smartest fucking people I know. Like, they just are able to understand and observe and have self-awareness and pull that together and just say things that people understand and it makes sense to them and it's logical but also hilarious. They're just pulling together like the laughable things that happen in our world and our life and just making it relatable to more than just that oneself. I just think that all comedians are so freaking smart and so talented in that sense because they're able to take some of the most serious of topics and break them down and get people to like, wait, that's actually hilarious that happens on every single day. Like, what the hell? We always think of that as a serious topic, but it's generally like, we can laugh at that too. It's okay.
Is that a question? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
that was
No,
just
I'm
a point.
kidding.
That was a rant.
I mean,
that was
no.
essentially the equivalent of how his speech went over. So he's full of shit that he did better. It was crickets, exactly like that. No one knew what to say.
I wasn't looking for a laugh there. That was like
No,
more of like
no,
a
I
point,
think
like a
it's great point.
statement.
And by the way, like, I will never, ever say, like, I'm the smartest guy in the room or anything like that by any means whatsoever. I just think when it comes to, like, telling jokes, like, there's a certain aspect of it that's, like, you need to put the timing into actually, like, know what you're going to say. So I think there's kind of an aspect of that, too, where, like, kind of going back to the quote I said before, like, for example, I have a bit about life insurance. Essentially, the long and short of it is that life insurance is bullshit because if my parents get me a life insurance policy and I die, my parents get paid. That's bullshit. Like, people just kind of call out things in, like, day-to-day life that realistically we probably all experienced before, but it's like the one moment that you're like, okay, like something clicks, let me write it down, and then I'll kind of like take it from there. But I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, I think you'd be hard pressed to find an objectively like dumb stand-up comedian. It'd be hard.
Yeah, well, unless people are literally laughing
Yes.
at them,
Yes.
which I don't necessarily you find the case. Like people who are on the stage and are very funny, like are making really good,
Yeah.
funny jokes, and that's why they're
And
getting
you know
the
what?
laughs.
One of the best lessons I was ever taught, ever, was by the guy Rick Chrome at the Comedy Cellar. He said kind of the opposite of what you had just mentioned, but it's more from like the performer's point of view, where it was like, this job is to get laughed at. You're not getting laughed with. You are getting laughed at. Like, you're giving them something to laugh about and you're saying it. So like embrace it. And honestly, like knowing myself, like I need to be better at like letting my inner like stupid out. Like I need to be more theatrical and like make ridiculous sounds. Like, you know, really become a character up there more so than even just like doing a podcast or something like this. But yeah, I think it's also one of those things where it's like you guys watch The Joker, like Joaquin Phoenix is telling jokes up there and like people are literally laughing at him. No one's having a good time. That's a different story than someone that's going up there like putting on a performance that people are laughing at the person, but that's like what their goal is, if that makes sense.
Mm. No, it does.
You have to have, I mean, it's all about your mindset, right? You have to have the right mindset going into these things. And I think if you can go in and accept people are laughing at you, you might make mistakes, like it's going to be difficult. That's kind of what we've boiled down young adulthood to, this concept of like mental fortitude in your mindset. We think you need to know who you are and have self-awareness. You need to have a vision of what you want to do, and you need to hold yourself accountable. And I think, unfortunately, that's not taught enough. Sometimes it's instilled in us from our parents, if we're lucky, maybe athletic coaches, band teachers, whatever it may be. But I don't think everyone has that fully figured out yet. And I think it's kind of the key to being happy as a young adult is figuring out those three things and mental fortitude as a whole.
I think it's something that you continue to figure out. It doesn't go away. Like, it's not like I wake up one morning, okay, I got it all figured out. I know who I am. I know what I want. I know how to get there. Okay, I got it. No, it always is something you got to figure out.
I mean, imagine how
That's
weird
just part
of
of like life.
that would be. That would just be bizarre. If like randomly you actually just have it all figured out. Like
I believe
that would
the Buddhists call that enlightenment. Right?
Yeah. Well, I figured out life. Okay. Now
I'm
what?
enlightened. We're good.
The tab of acid last night. That's what happened. Like you're still in the same spot, buddy. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh man, that's great. So you got. Ooh, that was weird. I said that like 5 seconds before you said that though. Like that was weird.
No, you didn't.
Like that you would.
We jinxed each other. All right, go ahead. I'll shut up.
All
right. So Ryan, how many shows are you doing this summer? Like, is it once a month, once a week, once a year?
No, I would say
if you have the mental fortitude to get on stage.
I would say on average, like I try to do at least like 2 a month, which isn't many. You know, objectively, like I know myself, like to get to the point where I want to be, I really do need to put a lot more time into it, like on a daily, weekly type basis. Granted, I did start doing stand-up more so as like an avenue to get into other things, you know, acting, hosting, whatever that might be. But in terms of the summer, I haven't done one in July. So I think July is probably going to be a dry month. I just did the comic strip, which was great. I did the comic strip and then a fundraiser. I killed it at the comic strip. Bombed at this fundraiser. And then kind of for the rest of the year, honestly, it sounds a little ridiculous, but like I swear, like I booked a show today for August 20th in Long Island through Facebook. Like a lot of it is like I need to reach out to people, like, you know, send them a tape, see what's up, and kind of take it from there. But I would say on average, like I'm trying to do a couple a week. And there's a great bar show in Hell's Kitchen that I can send you guys the info on that I actually haven't done in a while, but yeah, every day it's kind of one of those things. But yeah.
Well, I just want to say, when we bring Elevation Nation together, you might have to do, you know, a 5-minute,
that'd be great.
You know, opening bit for us. I mean, like, come on.
I mean, maybe one day you guys have a live type of thing. I don't know. Johnny Lazarus.
Only if you're our mediator.
Oh, well, I would host it, obviously.
Make sure we don't kill each other.
Well,
exactly.
I would be encouraging that. I mean, are you nuts? Are you nuts?
Here are the boxing gloves, boys. Have a good time.
Boxing gloves. You guys are, come on, use your knuckles. Let's go.
Kickboxing.
I love it. Kickboxing. So, Ryan, we have a section we like to call a rapid fire section where we didn't prep you. First thing that comes to your mind, we want the answer for. So, are you ready? Do you need to stretch first?
Let's go.
Are you loose?
I'm stretching like as we speak.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
some calisthenics. All right. All right. Favorite place you have performed?
Comic strip.
Favorite cheeseburger you've ever had?
Burger joint on 56th and 6th. Quick one. You guys got to check this place out. It's in a 5-star hotel behind a curtain. It was grandfathered in.
Oh, I've been to that
Dude.
one.
It's
It's good.
My favorite one in the
Never
city.
been.
Great date spot as well.
I think it's Anthony Bourdain's.
Yes.
It was his favorite as well in the city. Yeah, it's
No
pretty
big
legit.
deal. Anthony
Yeah,
and I
okay,
go
that's
way back. No big deal. Whatever.
yeah. We go way back. We're boys. No big deal. Oh my gosh. All right. So you're a comedian, right? You had that fateful day where you went up there and pretended to be a comedian and bombed. I assume now you have prepared for the inevitable question that happens when you tell people you're a comedian, which is, tell us a funny joke, yo. What's your go-to joke? I mean, you have to have something prepared so people know you're legit, right?
The worst. Fuck no. I don't need to have anything prepared. I don't know anybody's shit. It's a ridiculous question because it's like, first of all, there's a great video of Dave Chappelle visiting Kanye West at like a ranch in Utah when Kanye is like at his craziest. It's like 4:30 in the morning. Kanye gets the whole squad together and he's like, shout out Dave Chappelle for visiting me. Like, Dave, why don't you tell everyone a joke? Dave Chappelle is sitting there with a cup of coffee. He's like, bro, like, I literally haven't even finished my coffee. Because it's one of those things that's like, it's
Sure.
different than seeing I'm a dermatologist. Can you look at this fucking mole I have? Because there's a context to it where it's like, I can tell you a joke that has killed every single night for 10 years in every club across the country. But if I say it to two people on the street, they might be like, what? Like, what did you just say to me?
Totally.
So honestly, I'll be honest. Like, I really don't have just like a go-to, you know, maybe like, yeah, I'm not even
I think your answer of fuck you was great.
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful answer.
No, it's
that's hilarious.
That's
and
a huge
Chris, I
be
agree.
very-
dating apps as well. Huge. Oh my God, tell me a joke.
I
Like,
can
are you nuts? Like, do you really? Okay, you asked for it. I just go in.
Yeah,
That's
you gotta
hilarious.
type it. That's another
it's
thing,
brutal.
right?
Yeah, delivery's a little bit harder.
Yeah, just a little bit. All right, next question.
Yep.
Even though now that wasn't like a rapid fire.
Yeah,
we're on that
I'm
little rant.
expanding. I'll
Okay,
keep it going.
That was worth
All
the
right.
explanation.
I got another one. Your favorite smell in New York City?
Oh my God, unbelievable question. Unbelievable question. I would say favorite smell in New York City, 28th Street, passing this bakery. Unbelievable.
Ooh.
Fresh cookies, fresh bread in the morning.
What bakery? Daily Provisions
No,
or something like
it's
that?
called
Like,
La
what is it?
Delice. La Delice. I think it actually might have closed. Clearly, not a good enough smell. That or walking past like a pizza place. I would say it'd have to be some sort of like food.
I would sure hope so. I'm not sure if, to be honest, in New York there are any other good smells besides food.
What, you don't like?
In fact, I'd like to challenge us to think of one. Is there any good smell besides food in New York?
Madison Square Garden has a very distinct smell.
That's such a good answer. You're right. Okay, I take back
You're
that
such
statement.
a New Yorker.
Yeah.
That was
Such a New
impressive.
Yorker.
All right,
was
I got a
like-
question. Rapid fire. You mentioned that in your bombed, horrible first time doing stand up, that all of the halal cart guys say that their meat's better than the other, ripping a bogue and letting it ruminate on their
Sure.
meat. So by now, I would have assumed that you've tried multiple places. Where is your go-to halal cart?
Easy answer. Fide. King Biryani. Not Biryani King. It is King Biryani. I will literally send you the
That's an
info.
important differentiation.
I've worked in Fide for years. I literally went last week just to get the food and brought it back. Chinese,
Wow.
Chinese, Indo-Chinese food, chili chicken and lamb over rice. Easy answer. Easy answer.
Damn, I'm so hungry now. That sounds so good.
It was incredible. It's incredible. You're out for the day. I mean, you're not.
That sounds
and
great.
If you have a big work
You're
day,
done.
You don't get that. That's like a, you want to literally
Night-night,
melt
yeah,
into the
you're
floor and become a carpet. That's what you eat.
All right, I got another one, but it's cliche or not. I don't know. Maybe you have heard it. Maybe you
So
haven't.
cliche of you.
What came first?
Oh,
Yeah, what came first? It's one of those. Orange the fruit or orange the color?
oh, wow, that's awesome. So, can I ask a question about it? Am I
I
allowed?
mean, sure.
Well,
I
when
don't
you're
know if I
saying-
have the
when you're
answer.
saying
Like,
orange the fruit or orange the color. Do you mean the word orange itself? Like, You know what I mean?
The idea of
The
orange the
idea-
fruit and the idea of orange the
Orange
color.
fruit.
The idea of
Yes.
orange the fruit.
Yes.
So someone looked at the fruit and was like, orange.
Here's this. Yes.
And then they're like, that's everything that color is
Is-
now orange.
Yes. This weird little hard fruit with a nipple on it that makes amazing juice. Yeah, that's exactly it.
It makes amazing.
That's absurd. Okay, this is a tradition that we ask at Elevation Nation. Parker and I really like to read. I feel like reading is an adult thing that you have to
Yeah.
learn. So we like to get book recs.
You guys just learned
You got
how
a
to
book that, believe it or not, yes. So it's been a
You
while.
see
You know,
Sam's
those
little
books-
Sam's
those
little
books, I don't-
bookshelf
read?
on the back.
Those are like the girls that have the like Louis Vuitton and Dior things at their house that like you open it and they're just hollow. That's what those are.
That's essentially
Like
it.
literally,
Yeah.
they're not books.
They're not real.
Pictures of books.
Oh wait, are they?
He doesn't read. He looks at his.
Really pictures of books?
Dude, dead ass. It's literally pictures of books.
That is awesome.
But to be fair, they're books I've read.
Okay. No, that counts. I like that.
I just like. Sorry, Sam. I know. I don't want to go at you too hard. I just picture you.
That's okay.
You meet a nice, lovely lady, and you bring her. Hey, check out my bedroom, and you like show her around your bedroom. Like, this is my desk. This is where I sleep, and these are the books I've read.
Don't touch them. They can't grab them, but trust me.
Yeah. I
That's
just like.
hilarious.
I try to picture that conversation.
But book recommend.
Quite
book
often,
to
be honest
recommendation,
with
is that was the question.
Yeah, that was my
Okay.
question. If you
No,
got like
no,
a
I
good
do.
book you've read lately
So,
that you're
I'm
vibing
gonna say
with.
two. The first is the Motley Crue biography called The Dirt. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie.
Cool.
Great movie. Crazy book. I mean, just like really goes into a lot of. I mean, these guys were the hardest rockers of all time, and like they started when they were like significantly younger than us. So it talks about like what that. I mean, imagine like forget graduating college and like figuring out. Like imagine like you're touring the country every single night, like crazy. I mean, really, they talk about some really bizarre stuff. But then I would say fiction book. There's a book called The Comedy Writer. That's not even like really it's not like a funny book. More so, it's about this guy moves to California, meets this woman that's like absolutely manic, absolutely batshit. Kind of takes her in. It's like about their relationship and everything like that. So very good.
I love it. All right, I'm adding both of those to the list. Parker and I did just read a rock star autobiography as well, ironically enough.
Who?
We just read
Grohl.
Dave Grohl's
Oh, nice.
autobiography.
Oh, that's
Foo
right.
Fighters.
Yeah, I was listening to him on
It was really good.
and he was talking about that.
He might
It
be
was
the
great.
coolest person in the entire
Yeah.
world. He just is a guy who just does good
He's a
things
vibe.
for the world, never really got into bad things, and just makes people happy for his
He
living
feels like
by
a-
making
he
music.
feels
That's
like a
really
dream
good.
Podcast guest.
Oh my gosh.
Do you guys have
Hell yeah.
dream podcast guests? Rapid fire on you. Boom. Suck it. Who would that be for you guys?
We do. I'm a
I mean,
big
dream
Alright,
of the
go ahead.
dream.
It could be more than one, but yeah.
Dude, dream of the dream, Michael Phelps, man.
Wow.
That's for me. He's from Baltimore. I'm a Baltimore guy. This man literally is the fastest human in like water ever. Think about that. Fastest human ever in water. There's fastest human on land and there's fastest human on water. Dude's pretty fucking cool.
my dream guest right now would be Michael Pollan, who you might never
Did
have
you guys
heard
realize
of.
what you just said?
He's an
That's
author.
two Michael's MPs.
That's so true. Wow. We have a theme going.
Oh.
One's way more famous than the other. He's an author. He's crazy. He just came out with a bunch of books, but they just made two of them into a Netflix special. One's called like How to Change Your Mind,
Oh, cool.
and the other one's called Cooked. And he like just literally talks about
Yeah. We've read his
Cool
books.
shit.
That's very cool.
And
I'm
cool
looking at
shit.
this
I would
right
have.
now.
I think he would be easier to get than Michael Phelps. Just
Perhaps.
a little
should.
bit easier.
Yo, quick
Maybe.
Michael Phelps story. 8th grade, we had to do a project, and I chose Michael Phelps, and this was right around the time that he got caught smoking weed. And like, I swear to God, like all I did was like look on his website and maybe like some like fan pages and like wrote my report. Never reached out whatsoever. The next week, I had a letter that was like from Michael Phelps, like typed up, not actually him, but like his camp. That was like, I apologize for what I did with like a stamped signature. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? So yeah, it was
Wow.
nuts. It was really nuts.
We could
Class
speak.
act, Michael Phelps.
We could speak off the record about this right now, but like, if that happened, what he did today, no one would give a fuck about it. They'd be like, "Oh,
hyped.
okay."
Like, this dude is doing this, and he's so fast. Like, are you nuts? Unreal.
And he gets gold medals. Like, and if you know Michael Phelps' story, like, it really fucked him up. Like mentally, like he went through depression as a result, anxiety, like it really messed him up because like everyone was like, "Oh, you are the greatest and you can't do this." Dude, he smoked like weed. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
man. All right.
Weird.
That was our last rapid fire. I love hearing book recs. I feel like you could really tell about
that was our longest rapid fire section we've ever had. So
that's
Ryan,
good.
if there's anything you take away, like that's the longest.
That was big.
All right, Parker, last section. End us off, big
bro. Yeah. So Ryan, it is Elevation Nation. As Sam said when we first started, we have on guests who come of all walks of life, people who are struggling, people who are doing amazing things, starting companies, getting up in front of people and speaking. And what's really awesome about being a young adult in the real world is that we're all trying to figure it out. And oftentimes the people who elevate in the real world are ones who are driven by a purpose, driven by something that keeps them going. So something that we do on Elevation Nation is to ask every person who comes on what their mental motto is, something that they live by, something that drives them every day and keeps them grounded in a sense and, hopeful of the future. So, Ryan Kenny, what's your mental motto?
I would say it's pretty simple, honestly. And I think I first came up with it after not doing too well during a couple shows. I think I was just like overthinking things. It's just you be you. Literally, that's it. It's you be you. Don't overthink it. If it doesn't feel right, do not do it. But like also don't inhibit yourself from being yourself. You know what I mean? Like really, don't be ashamed of doing. If you want to stay in one night, stay in. If you want to do something that no one else wants to do, fucking do it. Like that goes a long way. It's not just in like comedy or anything like that. I think a lot of people feel like they need to, accommodate others for whatever reason. But yeah, you be you, and life would be a lot more simple, a lot better if everyone just did that.
I think that's absolutely true. And I think, unfortunately, it's something that takes a long time for people to figure out. We're so concerned about what other people think of us. What this concept of FOMO, man, like fear of missing out. Dude, come on. Like,
no, it's
prioritize what you want to do, man.
That, but then also like it's the idea that like I need to do things for like I need to do things the way other people want me to do things, and like that's like sometimes you have mentors in your life, people who like your boss wants you to do something a certain way. Great, I'll do it the way, I'll get you the output, but just because you're telling me to do it this way doesn't mean it's the right way for me. And as a young adult, that's something that I think is challenging for a lot of people, is that if we could just be us and bring our best self to the stage, best self to the podcast, best self, to the halal guy, best self to work, whatever it is, then, life will be that much better. Like you said, Ryan. It's still
tough. And it's still tough. I think it's one of those things that like rightfully so people struggle with, including myself. I'm sure I can't speak for you guys, but I'm sure
everyone.
It's like one of those things.
Totally.
Love it. Ryan, this was the hardest I've laughed on a podcast. So thank you.
You guys are now friends.
It's been awesome hanging out with you, man. We're now friends. You are now an elevator in our nation. You're part of the crew. And we're so glad to have you. We are going to link to all your social media, which I'm sure includes some of your shows coming up, so people can follow you and reach out to you. But this was great, man. I know you came on thinking that you weren't qualified. You are absolutely qualified to be part of the nation, and now friends with Parker and myself. And thank you for giving us time.
I
and chilling.
appreciate it, boys.
This is
a lot.
great.
And eventually, we're going to get you guys up on stage. I can promise you that. We'll figure it out.
Well, that's the goal. It might not be
plain food.
It might not be to make people laugh. Hopefully, it's to elevate people or make people laugh. It's the same thing. But Ryan, I just got to say, like, it's really cool to hear your story, and it's really cool when you hear a young person have a passion and they go all in on it and they make it happen, especially one where they have to be vulnerable and put themselves out there. And I just respect the hell out of you and what you're doing, both work, but like more so just you're just doing what you love and, you are being you. And I think that's amazing, and continue to be you, because we want to see you more on the stage. We want to see you more making other people laugh, making other people happy, because that's maybe why you were put on this earth. And maybe that's why we're here today, and that's what it's all about. So I just want to thank you so much, because it's been an awesome conversation. I'm excited for everything that's going to come, because, now you're in the nation.
Boys. Yeah,
now
for you guys
hanging.
too.
Now
Definitely.
we're boys, and that's it.
Thank you. It really means a lot. I appreciate it.
Totally. All right,
Elevation
Sammy.
Nation. Until next week. Peace.